Hey YouTube, KD2ETP here. Today I want to talk about digital modes. What's the best digital mode out there? Is it C4FM? Is it Dstar? Maybe it's DMR? Maybe it's P25? Well, I'm going to have to say that I'm not a big fan of digital modes. So I think that, they're all pretty much comparable. But um, just a little background, for instance, Dstar. Been doing a little research on that. Found out that Dstar is probably the oldest digital mode out of them. Oh, and there's some other ones too. I think Nexus and a couple other ones. Although I haven't seen that much around this area that I'm in. We have several C4FMs here, so that's a good one for the area that I'm in. But anyways, I think that all of them, if you're into digital modes, have different things that make them good depending on what you're looking for. And so I'm just going to give you a couple little things with my experience with digital modes that I think um, make the different ones better than others for certain things. So let's start with one of the things, for instance, DMR is a big one. Everybody's into DMR. It took on really quick, and it seems like there's a lot of DMR repeaters out there and whatnot. And I have a DMR. I have an A-Lens up there on the shelf. Let me see, over there, up there. So one of the things that's good about DMR is it's cheap to get into, as far as getting a radio and stuff. The repeaters and stuff for DMR and your links and all that, that gets into a little bit more money and stuff like that. But if you have DMR repeaters, getting equipment for DMR to get on and radios and stuff is really cheap. And it's the cheapest one of all the digital modes to get. So I think that's one of the big selling points of DMR. And then the other thing that I think is significant about DMR, as far as I'm concerned, is with a single repeater, you can run more than one channel or room, or I don't know what they call them on DMR, but talk group at a time on a single repeater. So that's significant. That's something that Dstar and C4FM in particular can't do. So so those are a couple of things that I think DMR have over the other two. So Dstar, one of the things I do like about Dstar in particular, the equipment's rather pricey because ICOM's not cheap, and Kenwood's also on Dstar. So you got two manufacturers that are both capable of running Dstar. So, but neither one of them have radios for Dstar that are that affordable, let's say, to get into. Not like DMR. So. The equipment's pricey, but one interesting thing about Dstar rather, is that Dstar, you can actually punch in somebody's call sign, somebody that or have met on the air or whatever, and it will automatically connect you with them, regardless of what chat room or talk group or whatever you want to call them they're in. You can get linked right to that person. So that's something significant and special only to Dstar. So that's kind of interesting. I think that's an interesting feature of Dstar. So although I believe the equipment's a little pricey, and I think the sound quality of Dstar is not quite up there with DMR and Fusion. Although I think DMR and Fusion are pretty much the same. And as far as P25 and Nexus and those go, I have a scanner, so I get some P25 from some of the local fire departments or whatever, law enforcement that are around. And I find that so the sound quality of that to be about the same as DMR or Fusion. I think what I've heard from Dstar, and I only know from listening to some short snippets online, that I think it's a little more robotic sounding than the other two. But and that's just might be my ears. So But anyway, so yeah, that's the one thing I do like. When I researched Dstar was that you could punch in like an actual call sign, and it didn't make a difference whether you were in that talk group or room or whatever you want to call it, and it would link you to that person. So I think that's interesting for Dstar as a mode. So, and the last one I want to talk about is C4FM, and to me, one of the biggest things about C4FM and the Wires-X, the Yaesu system, let's say, is that it is the easiest of all. There's no getting online. You don't have to sign up. There's no Brandmeister or what, you don't have to log your, you have to put your call on your radio, but you don't have to get online and, fill out anything to use it. With for instance, the 991 over here, you can just turn on the radio, get on a repeater, hit C4FM, and as long as you put your call in the into your radio, you're using C4FM. And then again, in another video I showed you, all you got to do if it's a Wires-X repeater. Oh, and by the way, that's something I should say. So just because you're on C4FM does not mean that you're always connected to Wires-X. So Wires-X is like the talk groups, whereas C4FM is just a digital mode. So you can get on a repeater in C4FM but not be talking on Wires-X. But to get into the extra talk groups, like DMR has like TAC 310 and those kind of things, and Dstar has similar, and I forget what theirs are, but they have similar rooms and stuff, and different repeaters and stuff that you can link to. But Wires-X is actually how you get to the actual rooms where you're talking, all over the world, let's say. That's the internet connection part of it. So, like with the 991A, with the repeater that's here in Syracuse, the KC2VER repeater, fusion repeater, you can get on that and talk C4FM, but you're not gonna talk all over the world on that one. You're only gonna talk locally, but you'll be talking on a digital repeater. So there's another one up in Fulton, which is run by W8N, what is it? Something Z, NZ, W8NZ or something. But anyways, he runs a repeater up there. It's, I don't know, 14739, I think is his repeater up in Fulton, New York. And he has the Wires-X on there. So when you get onto his repeater, you still have to be in C4FM, but then you hit the Wires-X button and then you're connected, and then you can talk all over the world. So that's like I said, C4FM is the easiest to get on as far as there's just a lot less. There's no, it's a no-brainer. You go on, you push the button that says C4FM on your radio, and you're talking C4FM. You want to get on Wires-X and talk in some of those chat rooms, you hit the Wires-X button. It automatically links you to all the chat rooms. You scroll through, pick the one you want, and you're in. So the ease of use, I think, is C4FM has the other two beat. So, and then Yaesu's actually coming out with some lower priced radios. So that's they're kind of trying to compete now with DMR, I think, a little bit there by having some of these lower price radios out there. And I think the lowest one they got is about $150. That's C4FM and Wires-X enabled. And that's a pretty good price to get into a digital mode. Even for DMR, that's a pretty good price. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses as time goes on, and see if maybe ICOM or Kenwood is going to come out with some Dstar radios that are a little bit more budget friendly. So that's my take on the digital modes and what I like about the particular ones. And again, like I said, the only reason why I got into C4FM in particular was because I wanted that 991A with the all band, all mode capabilities, because I wanted a 2-meter 440 single sideband radio in my shack. And and that's how I got into C4FM. And to be quite honest with you, had I known sooner, I might have played around with it a little sooner if I'd known it was going to be that easy. Because I found that DMR is just a To be quite honest with you, it's a pain. I mean, once you get it all set up and you got your code plugs in and everything, it's fine. And then, you've gone through Brandmeister and got your call out there and everything. I think, but there's a lot to it. Dstar, the only thing I know is what I've learned by researching it online and talking with people that I know that have used Dstar. So, like I said, in my particular area, we have DMR repeaters and we have fusion repeaters, but we don't have any Dstars close enough that I can get them from my base. So I think if you're looking for digital modes, that's what you need to look at. Where are you, and what's what's around you as far as repeaters go? And do you have fusion? A lot of fusion? Do you have a lot of D-Star? Do you have DMR? Do you have them all? Maybe you want to get one of each, and play around with them all. But in the end, my personal feeling is they're all the same. Like I said, the only reason why I tout C4FM because I found it to be the easiest. They're just, there's just no messing around. But I played on Dstar and or not Dstar, but DMR, and I would imagine that one of these times I'll have to get with a friend of mine who has a Dstar, and we'll go play around with that just so I can utilize it firsthand and see how it is. But I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm not a big digital guy, but I do play around with it here and there because I think it's part of the hobby, and I try to utilize all parts of the hobby. So, well, I hope you found this informative, and I don't know, maybe if you are interested in digital modes and you're trying to figure out what you want, maybe those few little things are selling points to you. Again, the DMR has the ability to have more than one link going on, let's say, on a repeater at the same time. That's significant to DMR. Dstar, you can put in a call sign and talk to the person that you want to talk to regardless of where they are, so you don't have to be in the same chat room with them, let's say. And Fusion is the ease of getting on the air and digital mode. So KD2ETP, I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. It is what it is. 73, y'all.